All right, there we go. Thank you, everybody. Let me get this out of my way. There we go. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so thanks for joining. Okay, I was working the other day on a wisdom quote. I did this little book. I've been saving these things over the years. Some are ancient, some are relatively modern, but they're always things I like to do. Hello, James. And there's always means something to them. So I'm reading them every day. Not just one, I read many. At least half the book, sometimes more, sometimes read all of it. And there's some Zen stories again, which I can relate to and so on. So I'm thinking one day, and I had this one particular Zen, I say proverb that's used, very short. It always fascinated me. And I could never really figure out how to use it because I knew I wanted to use it sometime in a particular talk here. And it's simply this, it's only a few letters. When the mind is awakened, the body matters not. The spirit is freed. Very simple. So when you become aware of all what is, that this isn't the best place to live, other side of the veil is the best place to live. And I've listened to near-death experiencers for many years, all fascinating, but all very similar. They go, they have a similar experience, they come back, they don't want to come back, but they have to finish some business. They come back and they can't wait to go back. Of course, they can't kill themselves. That would skew the whole point. And because it's been there. And I listened to one again today, and it was really fascinating. This guy died when he was 21. I won't get into all the details, but he came back with a very unusual story in much depth. He's never forgotten a thing. So I took that and I said, well, isn't this interesting? I'm listening to some things. And a couple of quotes came to me from the book, some of my favorite ones. One I actually wrote. So I started looking at these. I started to put them together like a puzzle. And that's why it's like life in 7 quotes. It has a beginning and ending. So I'll just read you a paragraph of each one, then we'll go into a bit of a discussion. The vehicle. My body is my vehicle to experience for a short time this reality. So we're here, we're born on a certain day, sometime between 0 and 100 years, we die, and we're gone. See? So it's a very temporary thing. How else are we going to experience this reality unless we can taste and see and touch and smell and all the senses that we have? And how do we know if we're making mistakes? If we lived all by ourselves, if we were born, lived all by ourselves, with everything we needed to eat and so on, what would we learn? What could we possibly learn? Nothing. So it's a vehicle that carries us around into different places to meet different people, to have different experiences, to find people that we love, to find people that we dislike very much. I don't like to use hate. The people that make us angry and the people we anger. I mean, these are all just experiences. But it's a vehicle to have these experiences while we're in this plane of existence. It's very temporary, this one. So, here I go to another one. So what happens now? So what's the purpose? So if we're here in our vehicle, our body's our vehicle to learn, what's our purpose? Everything happens for a reason or a purpose to serve us, regardless of your opinion of it. Why is it regardless of your opinion? Everybody's got an opinion, doesn't mean we're right. I've got an opinion, doesn't mean I'm right. But I can tell you that through this experience, when everything happens, what did I learn? So I go in and I take some money, for example. I got an example about that actually, but I didn't take the money. So in karma, I believe in karma. What goes around comes around. It's just, and we don't always see it. So what I did one time, I was up at Zare's up at Fairview Mall. So I'm checking out through the self-checkout thing. And what happened was I took some money a few days before that. I was there buying a few other things. And took $20 cash back because I needed it. And I'm packing things up and I walked out and I forgot. Then I get into the car, I'm ready to go. Oh, geez. So I went back in. Of course, it's not there. It's gone. So a few days later, I'm there and I do the same thing. So what do I notice? I notice a $5 bill in the thing. And nobody's around. So I pick it up, I put it in my pocket, and I'm walking. I say, oh, shit. This was bad. What did I do that for? That was just so. Sure enough, within the next week, it cost me $1,000. Everything, my car broke down. This happened and that happened. I need this bill to get paid. So on. It's just, man, and karma doesn't come back equally. It usually has a multiplication factor to it. Anyway, so if everything's happening for reason and purpose, serve me, what did I learn? And that's the point. So there's people I've known that get in car accidents on a frequent basis, several a year. Well, how is that even possible? What is it that they need to learn? There's always something. It's usually deeper than what we think on the surface, what the lesson might be. But again, you take abuse from a neighbor, from a friend, or a relative. It's always on you, man. What are you doing this? What are you wearing that for? That kind of stuff. And we take it. So where's the lesson? Maybe you know what? You don't need to talk to that person anymore. There's no value. But you haven't used it. You keep going back for more. There's another wisdom, and I'll explain that one. So that's the purpose. Everything happens for a reason and purpose to serve you. By the way, I wrote that one. It's the only one in here that I wrote. Next is the lesson. Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. By the way, that was from Puma Children. I should give you the Val Vanderwall was the very first one in the vehicle. So why do we have these patterns? Why does this stuff always happen to me? Maybe you've said that to yourself before. But we have all these things. It's the third time this month that's, my car broke down for no reason. It was fine. Now all of a sudden it's breaking down. I'm just throwing stuff up there, in the air. But there's always something that we repeat over and over again. Why does it keep happening? Well, guess what? Once you learn that lesson, it doesn't happen anymore. That's all it is. And generally, the lessons will get stronger and stronger until you get it, because that's how we learn. That's how we grow. So if somebody goes back in let me give you an example. Somebody wrote this some time ago. It's short. I get out on the street. I'm walking down the street. I fall in a hole. I look around and say, who put this hole here? Where's the workman? How come nobody's around to fix this? And I climb out of the hole and I go to work. The next day, I go to my door. I'm walking down the sidewalk and I fall into the same hole. And son of a gun, where are these people? I'm going to complain to the city. They should have had this fixed. They should have had them all roped off. And they get up and they walk away. The next day, out the door, they walk down the street, fall in the hole. They said, well, this is just ridiculous. I can't stand this anymore. This is terrible. And they leave. The next day, they walk out, walk down the street, they walk around the hole. Lesson, lesson, lesson learned. It's a simple little thing, but it makes a lot of sense. So we keep these things, and everything is a lesson. Everything we do is a lesson. Doesn't matter what it is. It's cold. Wear the proper clothes. Geez, I didn't. I almost froze to death. The next one is the truth. Truth cannot be taught. It must be learned. That quote was from Osho. Goes back some time. Truth is more than words, ideas, or instruction. It becomes real only when it is personally realized. Others may point toward it, speak of it, or guide us in its direction. And each person must come to know it through their own inner awakening. Real truth is not borrowed knowledge. It is lived, discovered, and recognized from within. It is what the soul knows after experience has stripped away illusion. And again, we get into these things with illusion. So once you realize it's an illusion, that's why truth can't be taught. It must be learned. If I go to university, if you go to university, we all go there at some point in time. Well, actually, I did. We sit down, we learn these theories, we learn this thing, we learn that thing, and all the things. And by the time we graduate, it's all obsolete. They are still teaching in some universities genetics. And genetics is proven to be wrong the way they had it, which means, if you get the cancer gene from your parents, well, you're going to get cancer. If you get the heart attack gene from your parents, you're going to get cancer. And they're still teaching that stuff. Yet back in '67, by Bruce Lipton, actually, it was biologist. And he proved that that doesn't work that way. So they found all the genes. There's no genes for cancer. There's no genes for heart attack. There's no genes for that. What makes it is the environment. That's what determines it. So you have these genes. And the environment, what he did was 3 petri dishes with 3 different, all the same stem cells, but the environment was different. The solutions that they were raised in were different. So one petri dish grew fat, another bone, and another muscle. Same stem cells, identical. Well, what was the difference? It was the environment. The environment, the blood solution that they used was different in each one. So that environment influenced or made the decision of what it's going to be. So what's our environment? It's what we think. If we're thinking all the time, that will determine. That's what our gene will be. So we have parents, and by the way, this has been proven scientifically with, with adopted kids, adopted twins, 2 different families. One had a history of cancer, the other one didn't. One twin got cancer, the other one did not. What was the difference? The environment that the cancer kid was living in, that everybody in the family, oh, geez, your grandfather had cancer, so it's in the family. It's not in the family. It's in the belief systems of the family and the lifestyle of the family. That's what we copy. So, oh, and your father, died of cancer. You got it there. It was bad, but it runs in the family. So, you better be careful. It's not that. You end up with the same belief systems. They could be you're not good enough. Life is terrible. Nothing works. And, cancer's in the family, so you can't do anything about that. And then the next thing you know, you've got a diet and you follow lifestyles. Maybe the 3 generations drank a lot. Maybe they ate terrible food. Maybe they had any kind of thing that's not conducive to good health. That's what they inherited, the belief systems. So that's the environment. So once the belief system's there, what are you going to do? Change the belief system. So truth cannot be taught. It must be learned. So you can teach all the things, go through the skin, I can teach all the things in university. And it's information in your head. It means nothing. Because how do you know? You'll go around, you'll talk about it, you can take the information you learned, and you may start teaching it to other people. And you may take that information and write information about it. You have no idea if it's real because you haven't made it real. You haven't done the work. You don't have the experience. What you have is a bunch of information. And you're assuming it's right. You're assuming it's true. May not be. And generally, like you said earlier, it's by the time it's you graduate, it's irrelevant. New things are happening. It's changed. The experience. These are all, there's 7 little chapters I put together. They're just small things of this. Might put a pamphlet, make a pamphlet of it. And there's other quotes in the book that would fit this perfectly in between in certain areas. It's like, it's a book of life. The experience. To truly learn, one must experience. And the previous one, truth cannot be taught, it must be learned. And the second one, this is unknown, and that was Osho. To truly learn, one must experience. Well, how do you know if it works? Well, let me show you how to change the light bulb. I'll write it down for you. Read this. All right, you've read how to change the light bulb, but you've never changed one. And you still think, well, I remember, all you have to do is screw it in. And you have no idea. You just assume it's true. Now, you're lucky because in this case, it is true. But the point is not that it's true or not. The point is you assume it is just based on information. Now, if somebody says this is how to change a light bulb, go and get yourself a light bulb and screw it in the socket. Now you've got the experience. Now you go around and say, no, I've done it. This is how you work. And you got to turn it clockwise. It won't work counterclockwise. It won't go in. This is the same in life. What you know about experience, or what have you experienced in life that you've learned to be true that wasn't before? It's not for me to say, it's for you to decide. But nonetheless, it's there. The choice and the awakening. There's 2 actual quotes in this one, side by side. Oh, pardon me, the choice and awareness. The first quote, by unknown, to choose something different is to choose to leave the past behind, to leave our old selves. So if you've got, I've seen people that will live in poverty consciousness. If you take a look at, generally speaking, that those are sometimes, I don't want to label them, but there's certain people that the homeless people, and there's ways that they could get off that. They choose not to. And they hang around with each other. So they have the same energy buzz, the same frequency, and it's low. And they're all thinking about the same thing. They're complaining. The government doesn't give them enough. There's not enough food to eat. People are stingy. I'm standing out there in the corner and they're giving me loonies and toonies. What kind of people are these? And they're in that group. And you know yourself. You've gone into a group. There's a group of people and you walk in there and you say, oh, geez, you feel really happy. The vibe is good. And then you rock into people where you got it feels sick in here. I can't take it. The energy is too heavy and you got to leave very quickly. And the same thing, you'll go into people that's high end, high class people. They're all drinking $300 a bottle of scotch and they're all dressed in tuxedos and so on. And you walk in there, you just don't fit. You do fit, you just don't fit up here. So it feels uncomfortable. So everybody has a level of consciousness. Everybody has a level of vibration and your friends, take a look at your friends, very much like you. And you take a look at somebody you may know who's in higher vibration. They don't talk to you too much. It's an acquaintance more than that. And there's people that just, hey man, you get $20 I can borrow, that kind of thing all the time. You don't want to be around those. Okay, that's the first one. To choose something different, to choose to leave the past behind, whatever it is, whatever you don't like, whatever you feel that you deserve more, you deserve better, whatever the case may be, leave that past behind and leave your old self behind. So what's your old self? How do you think? Because what we think about, we bring about. Our level of consciousness determines our level in life, whether everything happens to us or whether we create it ourselves. Whether we create our own experiences, we create our wealth, or we don't, or we create our poverty, or we create our relationships, bad or good. We do this all. Everything's here. It's like a garden. This earth is like a garden. So you can grow whatever you want. You want happiness, sickness, wealth, poverty. Do you want riches beyond your beyond? What do you think? You won a lottery and this is where you are, wherever that is. And you walk down the street and the guy's driving a Lamborghini. That kind of makes my eyes perk up when they see him driving down Lamborghini. How do you get that? Man, that's such a great car. And I ain't never going to have one. And one of the reasons, because I just said I ain't never going to have one. So everything's here to, what do you want to grow? You can do that. All you need is a little understanding. It's not that difficult. Then we have to understand, why are we here in the first place? We have that setback. How often do we sit back and say, why am I here? Why? To get lessons. Wonderful. What is the whole point? Well, so I can grow. Wonderful. So at 90 years old, I'm smarter. What was the point? I was born. I lived here temporarily for 9 years, which is that fast in time. And now I'm gone. What was the point? Well, there is a point. The whole point is, what did you learn? Do you think you can learn everything there is to know in the universe, or about love, or about kindness, or about compassion, or about hate, anger, fear, all those different things, the emotions? You can learn all that in one lifetime? There's not a chance. If our spirit, now I'm getting into there's the physical body, it's gone, it goes in a box, right? Or it's created. What happens to the spirit? Remember, basic physics: energy cannot be created, and it cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one thing or one type of energy to another. So then you have to get, okay, so there's a spirit. So what's the point? To go to heaven and hell? Well, if it's a oneness and God is in control, then guess who, if I'm talking from a religious point, well, guess who's controlling hell? Free will choice. So forever is a long time. You don't have to get this once. I've been reading about this and listening to near-death experiencers, and some of it just fascinates me, and some of it just doesn't feel right. And that's how you know. If it feels right here, then there's something to that. So now it's on the other side. So I've lived 90 years. Now what? Okay, I'm on the other side. Well, we have a party? Do I visit with friends and old ones? It's home. Now I'm going to use, okay, obviously I'm giving you my opinion, but when you go there, it's home. This is not home. There's home. We got it backwards. And when you get home, who's there? All the loved ones and all the people that you knew and your friends and relatives and all the way down, they all come out to greet you. This is what happens. Sounds weird, doesn't it? And they all get up to greet you. And one of the things that all these near-death experiencers have, because they go there, they just have to come back. Not all of them, but some of them. And what they all experience, he says, love is so powerful. It's like you're in this unbelievable power. The way one fellow explained it, he says, when your child is born and you're holding that baby in your arms, you get tears in your eyes. The love for that thing is overflowing. And he says, multiple that times 100. That's what it's like on the other side. So, you know. Okay, so the second one of these two quotes on this is the choice and awareness. Oh, you probably couldn't see that. Do not look back in anger. Do not look back in anger or forward in fear, but around in awareness. So this, I could touch other wisdom quotes on here. Oneness is one, and lessons is another. So where are we? Where are we in this moment? Well, right now, you may be listening to me or listen to me while you're reading a book or watch TV. I don't know. But you're doing whatever you're doing. And how often do you think back to that time or those times? Could be hardships. And it related to you today. It just came up. Why is this crap always happening to me? I remember this has been when I was in high school, this happened to me. Or, that the cousin, they did this to me. And I can't believe it. And that story comes up. And all these little stories, how long have you gone to the past and remembered something that happened? The energy of that, the negative energy that is still inside you. How do you know? Because every time you bring it up, you feel exactly the same thing. It hasn't gone away. You haven't let it go. And so while you're doing that, you're living there. And there's nothing you can do but living back. Forward in fear. What are you afraid about? And some people say, well, nothing. Well, let's throw some generalities out there. Things aren't so good in Iraq and in the Middle East. So all kinds of problems. Gas is $1.75 a liter today. A liter. So if you take that, that's about, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's $7 a gallon. It's nuts. It was just $1.20. What, a month ago, a month and a half ago? So is the price going to go up? Oh my goodness, tariffs. How are we going to get our fresh vegetables? The United States, why are they doing this? I'm going to get angry with them. People had nothing to do with that, but you're still afraid. What about these new bills that are coming out? Is it going to screw us? Are we can't run out of money? Are we going to be broke? Are we going to be bankrupt? Is war going to break out here? What about these criminal immigrants? Oh, it just goes on and on and on ad nauseum. So why are you living there? So when you're thinking about and you're watching the news, you'll be much happier if you don't watch the news, by the way. You don't need to know all that stuff that they say is going on because it's not really going on. I've seen stories on TV how it's terrible in this particular place. And I see a video in a news release and people talking in the same place. Well, none of that's happened. We're fine over here. What are you talking about? Somebody made it up, made a big story, scared the bejeebers out of everybody. And that's what it does. So you're worried and fear. You're stressed out all the time, not good for your health. You're just waiting for the next thing to drop. And go back, man, I go back there and I'm still angry. So you can't live back there. Tomorrow is only a promise. It's not even a promise, it's a possibility. So why are you living there? Why are you living there for 2 years from now? What could happen? The only time you have is this moment right now, and you're not using it. This is life. This moment is life. What happened back there is a lesson. It's not life. What's going to happen is not a lesson. It's just a possibility, which you're making up out of your consciousness. I can tell you, I'm not worried about that anymore either, because I was thinking, I got caught up in that stuff. Wait a minute. I'm here. Life is good. The weather's pretty good the other day. I went down, I got some groceries. I filled up the car for gas. I might not drive as much with it, whatever the case may be. So that's that. So it's this. Once the lesser is understood, change becomes possible. To choose something different is not simply to make a new decision, it is to release the identity, the habits, and the old way of being that belonged to the past. So there you go. Growth asks us to let go of what we have outgrown. This is where awareness becomes essential. Anger keeps us bound to what has already been. Fear keeps us trapped in what has not yet come. Awareness brings us back to the present, where we can see clearly, choose wisely, and step into the new way of being. Damn, it doesn't sound so bad, does it? And finally, the awakening. And this Zen quote is a little bit different because it was the one I was looking at in the first place, and I'm trying to figure out how can I explain this. And that's why these started popping in my head, and I saw a story coming in. I might even make a book of all the things in chapters and stories and so on, because using all the quotes, they all fit. I thought that was amazing. So here's the actual quote. So I have a similar one that I put together, simulates the quote, I should say. It's from Zen. I mentioned to you earlier. When the mind is awakened, so you know everything that's going on, you know reality, what really is. You know about the energy in heaven, that we're temporary, that the spirit doesn't die, that moves on to better things to keep learning and learning. So when the mind is awakened, the body matters not. What difference does it make? I have no use for this. Because with my awakening, I know where I'm going, I know what it's going to be like, and I have no fear. So take this. It's like when you go, I had this thought years ago, a little crazy, but we have all these wars and these brutal dictators come over and say, well, we're going to do this or we're going to kill you. Kill me. We all come around, go ahead. Make it better. Go ahead. And now they want to conquer a country and make everybody slaves. Now this is just a way of thought, so I'm taking it seriously. But could you imagine if the people in China who are under control, that there's slave labor and so on, say, look, I don't need this crap anymore. Just kill me. I know, I'm awake. I know, I understand now. I understand where I'm going. This is just temporary. I choose not to do it anymore because I know where I'm going to go. And they all say, go ahead, throw us in jail, kill us, torture us. We don't care. Kill us. I'm going to be on the other side. What do you think the government would do? There'd be nobody left to rule. Interesting thought. So that's the thing. When my mind is awakened, my body matters not, my spirit is freed. You're not trapped in this body anymore, which is an honor and it's a place to learn, but it's here. Now here's how I rewrote the quote. Through this understanding, because I'm following the story, from this understanding, my mind is awakening, and when my journey here is complete, the body matters no longer, and my spirit is free to continue its next journey. As awareness deepens, life begins to make a different kind of sense. The body is seen for what it is, a temporary vessel. Experience is understood as teacher. Purpose becomes clear. Truth is no longer only spoken of and is felt and known. In this unfolding, understanding, the mind awakens. Fear begins to soften. Resistance loosens. Peace enters. And when the work of this journey is complete, there is comfort in knowing that the spirit is greater than the temporary form it has inhabited, and that its journey continues. When you know all that, it's not something, if you can read something, it doesn't matter what it is, Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, Tao Te Ching, doesn't matter. It's all just information. Something is going to catch on to you where I see this now. I can feel it. I just feel it. Now, when my father passed away, I had a cottage up in Solaria. And it's a Sunday morning, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm asleep. And all of a sudden, I hear, George! And I sat up. I didn't know my father was dead at the time. What? I couldn't figure out the voice. Where did it come from? I sat there bewildered for about 15 minutes. Anyway, that was that. On the way home, or when I got home, my brother called me. He said, George, Dad died. When? Last night. Really? And the other thing was I was taking pictures out on the deck. And there's this little bushes there, not too many. I took 2 pictures, click, click. One picture, just the bush. The next picture, there's orbs everywhere. And there's one big orb in there. It's gorgeous, just really gorgeous. I said, wow, what are these guys doing here? You know, what's this all about? The next morning, I woke up and I had that thing, and then I found out my father died. He came by to say goodbye. That's the only way I can see it. That's it. He's died. He's crossed over. Before he didn't know who my name was at that point. The dementia, you know, that works. I assume. So, and all of a sudden, he clears the bell, George, and I just felt something, but I didn't realize just what I felt until I got home. My brother said my father died that night. So I know there's another side. So you may have these little experiences where and sometimes you just know. You know, the intelligence that your spirit has is connected to all this. It knows this stuff. You just have to let go of your old beliefs and let it in, feel it, see it, know the truth. Anyway, so that's about 32 minutes. Not too bad. Any questions? Debates? I'll take that as a no. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining. I enjoyed having you here. And another 2 weeks, we'll do another one. Wisdom podcast. Who knows what it is? I generally don't know. Thanks, Carol. I generally know what I'm going to do. Sometimes it's that day, the day of. And I say, I can't take it. I can't, and open up the wisdom book. And there it is. So, but I like to do more research. I did a little more research on this one, and because it was. Anyway, after saying all that, thank you so much for joining. Have I told you how much I love you today? And always remember, peace, love, gratitude, and joy. Forgive, forget, and let go. And life will be better. So thanks so much. Bill. Oh, Mr. Pickett. Where'd you go? Oh,
What's happening,
all
my
right.
friend?
Oh, there you are. Hey, Bill.
Hey, brother. Right here. Hey, how are you?
Super good, but I'll get better.
I've heard that from you before.
It's still happening, man.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great.
Playing with videos here. Yeah, good. Ah, Jim Purdue down there. I just wanted to comment. Great podcast. I like
Oh,
that.
but, really?
George, do something on acceptance. Acceptance is the thing that I see that many people are lacking. They are not accepting what we have. They're not accepting how.
Yeah, where do
Appreciation
you think
for
that
the
comes
moment.
from?
You know, it's the ego.
Well, you
And you
go
got to,
think back to childhood when you said, Dad, can I have that? No. No, son. Dad,
oh,
can I get that? No. And then the neighbor comes by and says, here's this ball I got. I thought you might like it. Oh, I can't have it. My dad said I can't have it. And that's where acceptance, starts back in those younger years. You don't feel worthy. That's one of the biggest
that's,
things, belief systems we
that's,
have. We're not
yeah, that's
worthy.
one of the things, George. But the other thing is so many people are so negative about things that are in their life.
Uh-huh.
They just accept what it is. It is what it is, but we can take it and we can do better. Do
Well,
what
no,
you know until you know better and then do better.
yeah. Well, like the wisdom book says, you don't drown by falling in the water, you drown by staying in it. So when people find out, why is this happening? When do they stop and say, well, let's take a look at this? Maybe I can find a book. Maybe I can read something. Maybe I can talk to somebody. Why is this? Maybe I can reach out and get some help. Maybe I can get a part-time job. That'll give me a start. Anything that's above where they are. And any one of those thoughts are above where they're thinking now. And that would be the start. But I mean, there's a movie about the guy who was Will Smith played him. He's living on the street with his son. And he was taking
I
the
remember the movie.
course, yeah, in a stockbroker course. He made $500 million bucks. But he lived on the street while he had to learn, and then he would go up there to the exam, and he still lived on the street. What? See that special? How many ones you got? How many people do you know? They go out there and they start a little business. Next time, they're huge. There's a guy in Toronto. He started this hamburger shop called Rudy's. I guess his name is Rudy. It's cheeseburgers. And he has like 7 different cheeseburgers, 1 fried chicken sandwich, and fries. That's it. Yeah, the best burgers I ever had in my life. Had another one today. Wednesday is like burger day. And because this is close, it's delicious. He's got 10 stores now. In 10 years, 10 stores. And now he could have not decided to do that, start a business. So it all gets down to choice. And that's the lesson. Maybe, have you ever thought, kind of what we'll talk about today, have you ever thought that maybe you're here for that reason? To be in poverty and so on in this particular lifetime, if you understand that or agree that there's more than one. I think eternity is a long time. 90 years is nothing. But to come here, what is that like? How do you treat those people? All these things it's not just as simple as, oh, I was born this way in this poverty. Look at you, my friend. You're born to a farmer, had a good life, doing the work and so on, and now you got a much better life. You inherited the barn, you did the house, a lake, or whatever, and you got a great group. You got a huge group that love you, and I come and see you, and you earn a living on that. You and your lovely wife, Linda. How did you go from here to blessed? And you worked all your life and so on. You turned out okay, man.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I'm still on a journey.
of
Everybody
course.
is.
It never stops. It never stops. But
No doubt, no doubt.
yeah. But it's what you do.
All
The
right,
choice
brother.
is
Just wanted to say,
you had
I know.
enough?
Well, I will tell you the thing that Linda always tells our classes and our workshops.
Uh-huh.
They always say, if you ask Bill a question, specify short answer or long answer. So you, my friend, are the same category. You have to specify long or short. She just walked by.
Linda, how are you?
I'm on the earbud. She can't hear me.
Oh.
All
Oh,
right,
well,
brother.
all right,
See you
Bill.
later. All
Yeah,
right,
we'll
now.
talk to you probably tomorrow or whenever.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
George.
Yes. James.
Yes, thank you.
I recognize that voice.
Yeah, taking this from a religious perspective is a little bit different, but a lot of what you said is correct.
Well,
Yeah, we have to remain positive, and in my case, I always attempt to be positive. And my motto is to laugh at least 45 times a day because that keeps you in a positive state. As you said, you don't look back in anger. That's not the right thing to do.
Right.
But love can take that over. And if we think experiences are nonsense, well, I agree with you that that's very true as well. And if you think of what God did when he populated the earth, and he's probably made, as you described in one of our recent messages, is that there are probably other planets that can survive people like us and humans, but he wanted to populate the earth with Christians so that he can expand his creation across all of the globes in the world where we can exist. And so that is his purpose. We are all from the seed of Abraham. And if you're from Isaac, then you're destined to be a Christian. if you're from the other guy, you're not. And that's where most of the Muslims are. But, and I don't criticize that.
Yeah.
Everyone
Well,
has their own choice to have a religion. But anyway, very nice representative, very nice talk, George. Thanks.
well, thanks for saying so. And by the way, science is now saying that there are 2 trillion galaxies, and every galaxy has over 1 billion stars, and all those stars have many, many planets. That's how vast this is. So just a topic, not for this moment, but just for a topic to look at. So, okay, does that mean with all that expanse, I mean, it's infinity is huge. Does that mean God is just the God of this galaxy? Because in all those planets, there's planets with other beings that live on. I have to call them beings because I don't know what they look like. But there's others. Some are lower perhaps than us, some are higher than us. But 2 trillion galaxies times 1 billion times another 100 million. I can't even have a concept of that number, and we're it. It makes absolutely no sense that we're it. But the point is God just this galaxy or this area? And each God has its own galaxy, and they do their own creation? Or is it the one God that created the entire universe and all the beings? And he allowed them to have all the religions, and he thought that that was okay. And the reason I say that, I'm not suggesting it is, not suggesting it isn't, but the only way I see that is I don't think God has an ego. By definition, if he did, he wouldn't be God. So he loves everybody the same. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian or Muslim. You do your dirty work down here and do it, and you go back up to the other side, and then you know. There was a Muslim fellow who had a near-death experience. He was on YouTube, and he met Jesus. When he died and crossed over to the other side, he met near-death experience, of course. He met Jesus Christ, and he came back in to tell everybody about it. He says, "We are wrong. I met the man." So, and you know, is these people all these religions, or are they all bad, or are they have threads of truth in it? Fascinating concept or an idea. But when you have there's an atheist. He was a professor, I think at Harvard, and he died. Complete atheist. There's nothing after that. It's just all darkness. And he had near-death experience. He came back. He did it over an hour. It's on YouTube, telling about his near-death experience as a professor and an atheist and what he experienced. Turned it right around. And that's the interesting thing about reading these near-death experiences, that they have something. There's something that makes it right. Okay, it's not. It just is. To me, I believe in it. That doesn't mean I don't believe in God or Jesus Christ or anything else. Because I do. But we have a perception of what it is on the other side, and it's good. And what the people are saying is this is more beautiful than you can imagine. It's more loving than you can imagine. It's more, and you get to do all the things you want to do here that you do here. You know, it's strange. But anyway, that's a topic for another time. But James, thanks so much for hanging out and listening. And thank you.
Love you, George.
Yes. We'll see you. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Right? Take care, everybody. Love y'all. Bye.